Years had passed since the first encounter between humanity and the Valens, and the alliance had grown stronger with each passing day. What began as a fragile truce born out of necessity had transformed into a partnership that reshaped both species' futures. The scars of past battles still lingered. The memory of the Zorithians loomed large, but they served as reminders of what could be achieved when two civilizations worked together. On Earth, the changes were undeniable. Cities once plagued by pollution thrived under sustainable systems inspired by Valen bioengineering. Farms that once struggled with droughts now flourished thanks to hybrid irrigation techniques developed in collaboration with alien scientists. Humanity's understanding of space expanded exponentially, fueled by shared knowledge and technology. For the first time in history, people looked to the stars not with fear or greed, but with hope for exploration and discovery. The Valens, too, experienced profound transformations. Their organic ships became faster, more durable, and better equipped to handle the dangers of deep space, thanks in part to human engineering. Entire ecosystems on their homeworld were revitalized using methods learned from Earth's agronomists, and though their culture remained rooted in harmony and balance, the Valens embraced new ideas, finding strength in diversity rather than fearing it. Dr. Laura Mitchell returned to Earth after spending years among the Valens, her mind brimming with stories and insights. She became an ambassador of sorts, traveling the globe to share her experiences and foster goodwill. "They're not so different from us," she often said during lectures and interviews. "They dream, they create, they struggle, and they want the same things we do: peace, progress, and a better future." Captain Lucas Hayes retired from active duty, leaving behind a legacy of courage and leadership. He spent his final years mentoring young officers who would carry the torch of interstellar diplomacy. On the day he stepped down, he addressed his crew one last time. "We didn't just make history, we made a family. Remember that wherever you go, whatever you face, you're never alone." Kelleran also chose to step aside, passing the mantle of leadership to a younger generation of Valens eager to continue building bridges with humanity. His final message to his people echoed Hayes' sentiment: "We have faced the unknown and emerged stronger because we did not face it alone. Let this bond guide us forward." As decades turned into centuries, humanity and the Valens ventured deeper into the galaxy, exploring uncharted worlds and encountering other intelligent species. Some alliances were forged easily, others required patience and perseverance. Through it all, the lessons learned from their first meeting remained etched in their collective memory. Trust takes time, understanding requires effort, and unity is worth every challenge. One day, a child born on a distant colony planet, a place where humans and Valens lived side by side, looked up at the night sky and asked, "What's out there?" Her teacher smiled and replied, "Everything, and we'll find it together." In the vastness of the universe, the story of humanity and the Valens became a beacon of possibility. It was proof that even in the face of uncertainty, cooperation could light the way. Together, they had faced their fears, overcome their differences, and built something greater than themselves. And as they continued their journey among the stars, they carried with them the belief that no challenge was insurmountable. Not when they stood united. The journey back to Earth aboard the Asterisk SS Horizon Asterisk was filled with reflection and anticipation. For Dr. Emily Grant and the delegates, every moment spent with the Valens had deepened their understanding of this remarkable species. The Valens' commitment to harmony, their advanced bioengineering, and their willingness to share knowledge left a profound impact on the human representatives. Yet, as they approached Earth's atmosphere, reality began to set in. The task of convincing an entire planet to embrace this unprecedented alliance loomed large. Upon landing, the delegation was met with mixed reactions. Some governments and organizations welcomed the news of alien contact with cautious optimism, eager to explore the potential benefits of collaboration. Others were skeptical, fearing the unknown or questioning whether humanity was ready for such a monumental shift. Public opinion was equally divided. Social media buzzed with debates about trust, security, and the implications of relying on alien technology. Dr. Grant addressed the United Nations in a historic session, presenting her findings alongside footage from the battle against the Zorathians and testimonials from the crew of the *SS Vanguard*. Her words were deliberate and clear. This is not just about survival, it's about growth. The Valens have shown us that cooperation across species can lead to extraordinary achievements. Together, we've already accomplished what none of us could have done alone. Her speech resonated with many, but it also sparked heated discussions. Military leaders worried about vulnerabilities, scientists debated ethical concerns, and politicians grappled with how to integrate alien advancements without destabilizing global power structures. Despite these challenges, a consensus slowly emerged. Humanity needed allies if it hoped to face the Zorathians or any other threats lurking in the cosmos. Meanwhile, aboard the *SS Vanguard*, Captain Lucas Hayes received updates from Earth via secure channels. He knew the road ahead would be fraught with obstacles, but he remained steadfast. "Change never comes easily," he told his crew during a briefing. "But we've proven that unity works. Now it's up to us to keep building bridges." Back on the Valen homeworld, Kelleran faced similar challenges within his own council. While most Valens supported the alliance, some elders argued that aligning too closely with humans risked exposing their peaceful society to further conflict. "We cannot isolate ourselves forever," Kelleran reminded them. "The universe has changed, and so must we." To strengthen the bond between their species, joint projects were launched. Engineers worked side by side to develop hybrid technologies, blending human precision with Valen adaptability. Scientists collaborated on sustainable solutions for both planets, ensuring that progress benefited everyone involved. Laura Mitchell stayed behind on the Valen homeworld, continuing her work with Nira and Soland to refine the universal translator and deepen cultural understanding. As months passed, tangible results began to emerge. New ships equipped with combined human-Valen technology patrolled the edges of explored space, standing guard against future Zorathian incursions. Agricultural innovations allowed struggling regions on Earth to thrive, while Valen habitats became more resilient thanks to human engineering. Slowly but surely, the partnership proved its worth. One evening, as the sun set over Earth's horizon, Hayes stood on the balcony of a research facility, watching the sky turn shades of orange and purple. Beside him, Jason Ford reflected on everything they had been through. "It feels like we're part of something bigger now," Jason said quietly. "Something that'll last long after we're gone." Hayes nodded, his gaze fixed on the stars. "That's the hope. And maybe, one day, humanity will look back at this moment as the start of something truly extraordinary." Though uncertainties remained, the foundation had been laid. Humanity and the Valens had taken the first steps toward a shared destiny, a future where differences were celebrated and unity became their greatest strength. As the galaxy stretched endlessly before them, they stood ready to write the next chapter together. Months had passed since the battle with the Zorathians, and the alliance between humanity and the Valens had grown stronger. The shared struggle had forged a bond that went beyond mere necessity. It was built on mutual respect and understanding. Both species worked tirelessly to prepare for the inevitable return of the Zorathian threat, knowing that the next encounter could be even more dangerous. On Earth, news of the Valens and the Zorathians spread quickly after Captain Hayes' report reached headquarters. At first, there was skepticism and fear among world leaders. The idea of intelligent alien life was difficult for many to accept, let alone the concept of an interstellar war. But as evidence mounted, videos of the battle, data from the *Vanguard*, and first-hand accounts from the crew, the reality became undeniable. A delegation was sent to meet the Valens, traveling aboard a newly commissioned ship called the *SS Horizon*. Leading the group was Dr. Emily Grant, a diplomat known for her calm demeanor and sharp mind. Joining her were scientists, engineers, and military advisors, all eager to learn from their newfound allies. When the Horizon arrived at the rendezvous point, Kelleran greeted the delegation warmly. Through the now refined universal translator, he welcomed them to what he called a new chapter in our shared history. The humans were awestruck by the Valen's organic ships and their glowing, graceful forms. For many, it was their first glimpse of extraterrestrial life, and the experience left a lasting impression. Dr. Laura Mitchell acted as a guide during the visit, showing the delegates how far human-Valen collaboration had come. She demonstrated the integration of Valen bioengineering into human technology, highlighting projects like self-healing hulls and energy-efficient reactors. "This is just the beginning," Laura explained. "Imagine what we can achieve if we keep working together." The delegates were particularly impressed by the teamwork displayed during combat drills. Pilots from both species flew simulated missions, showcasing their ability to anticipate each other's moves and adapt seamlessly. Corporal Jason Ford and Erin led one such exercise, their camaraderie evident even in high-pressure situations. When asked about their partnership, Jason simply said, "We've learned to trust each other. That makes all the difference." Despite the progress, not everyone was convinced. Some members of the delegation worried that relying too heavily on alien technology might weaken humanity's independence. Others questioned whether the Valens truly understood human values or if their motivations aligned with Earth's long-term goals. Dr. Grant addressed these concerns diplomatically, reminding everyone that alliances required compromise and patience. Kelleran sensed the lingering doubts and decided to take action. He invited the delegation to visit the Valen homeworld, a lush, vibrant planet teeming with life. There, they witnessed the harmony between the Velians and their environment, gaining insight into their culture and way of life. The experience helped bridge the gap, fostering a deeper appreciation for their allies. Back aboard the SS Vanguard *, Captain Hayes reflected on how much had changed since the first encounter. What began as a moment of uncertainty had blossomed into a partnership that held the promise of a brighter future. Yet he knew the road ahead would not be easy. The Zorethians were still out there, biding their time, and humanity's own divisions threatened to undermine the fragile unity they had achieved. As the delegation prepared to return to Earth, Dr. Grant approached Hayes. "You've done something extraordinary here, Captain. Don't lose sight of what you've built." Hayes smiled faintly. "We're just getting started." With renewed determination, both humans and Valens turned their attention to the challenges ahead. They knew the universe was vast and unpredictable, but together they had proven that cooperation could overcome even the greatest odds. As the stars stretched endlessly before them, they stood ready to face whatever came next, not as separate entities, but as one united force. In the aftermath of the battle, the mood aboard the SS Vanguard * and the Valen ships was somber but hopeful. The victory over the Zorethians had come at a cost. Damaged vessels, lost lives, and lingering questions about what lay ahead. Yet, amidst the wreckage, something remarkable had emerged. An unshakable bond between two species who had once viewed each other with suspicion. Captain Lucas Hayes stood on the bridge, staring out at the stars. The adrenaline of battle had faded, leaving behind a quiet resolve. He turned to Commander Ethan Cole. "We need to debrief everyone, and not just about the fight. This alliance has changed things for good." Cole nodded. "Agreed. But we also need to think about how to prepare for next time. The Zorethians won't stay gone forever." Meanwhile, Dr. Laura Mitchell worked alongside Nira and Solon in the makeshift lab they had set up aboard the Vanguard *. Their goal was clear: improve communication between humans and Valens by perfecting the universal translator. With the Zorethian threat still looming, every second counted. "This is incredible," Laura said as she studied the data streaming from the Valen device. "Your bioengineering could revolutionize our technology." Nira smiled faintly, her glowing eyes reflecting pride. "And your fusion reactors could help us stabilize our ecosystems. Together, we are stronger." The collaboration extended beyond science. Corporal Jason Ford spent hours learning basic Valen gestures and sounds, while Erin, the brave pilot who had led the charge against the Zorathians, practiced human phrases under Laura's guidance. These small exchanges built trust, turning strangers into allies, and sometimes even friends. On the Valen ship, Calrin addressed his people. Today, we faced a common enemy with the humans. They fought bravely, risking everything to protect us. This proves that cooperation is possible, even with those who are different. Solon, however, remained cautious. They are unpredictable. How can we be sure their intentions are pure? Kelleran sighed. Trust is not given freely. It must be earned. But so far, they have shown no reason to doubt them. Back aboard the Vanguard Lieutenant Rachel Brooks reviewed the logs from the battle, searching for patterns or weaknesses in the Zorathian fleet. Her findings confirmed what they already suspected. The Zorathians were powerful but predictable. If humanity and the Valens continued to adapt and innovate, they might stand a chance against future attacks. Hayes called another meeting with his senior officers to discuss strategy. We've seen what happens when we work together, he said. Now it's time to plan for the long term. We need to share resources, knowledge, and training. That includes defensive measures, and offensive ones, if necessary. Ethan leaned forward. What about reaching out to Earth? They'll want to know about the Valens and the Zorathians. Hayes hesitated. Contacting Earth meant revealing everything. The first encounter, the battle, and the alliance. It was a risk, but one he knew they couldn't avoid. Prepare a report, he instructed Rachel. Make it detailed, but emphasize the importance of this partnership. As the days passed, both groups focused on recovery and preparation. Repairs were made to damaged ships, supplies were shared, and joint drills were conducted to strengthen coordination. Laura and Nira celebrated a breakthrough when the Universal Translator successfully interpreted a full sentence in real time. For the first time, Kelleran spoke directly to Hayes without relying on gestures or fragmented translations. You have shown great courage, Kelleran said through the device. Our survival depends on unity. Hayes met his gaze. We're in this together now. Whatever comes next, we'll face it side by side. Though challenges remained, the foundation of their alliance grew stronger with each passing day. Both humans and Valens realized that their differences were not barriers. They were strengths. By combining their unique abilities and perspectives, they had achieved something neither could have done alone. As the stars shimmered outside the windows of their ships, hope began to take root. The universe was vast and full of dangers, but together they had taken the first step toward a brighter future, one where cooperation, not conflict, defined their place among the stars. Just as the humans and Valens began to settle into a rhythm of cautious cooperation, an unexpected threat emerged. Sensors aboard the Vanguard detected a massive energy signature approaching their location. At first, Captain Lucas Hayes thought it might be another Valen ship, but the readings were unlike anything they had encountered before. The object was enormous, far larger than the Vanguard or any of the Valen vessels. Sir, it's moving fast, Lieutenant Rachel Brooks reported from her station on the bridge. And it's broadcasting something. Some kind of signal. Hayes frowned. Can you decode it? Before Rachel could respond, the transmission came through loud and clear. A harsh, mechanical voice filled the room, speaking in broken but understandable phrases. This is the Zorathian Empire. You are trespassing in our territory. Surrender your technology, or face annihilation. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Hayes clenched his jaw. Who, or what, are the Zorathians? Calrin's voice crackled over the comms link moments later. They are a ruthless species, he explained, his tone grim. They conquer and enslave others for resources. We have avoided them for centuries. Hayes turned to Commander Ethan Cole. How much firepower do we have compared to them? Not enough, Cole admitted reluctantly. If they're as advanced as they sound, we'll need help. Realizing they had no choice, Hayes contacted the Valens again. "Kellerin, we can't fight them alone. If we stand together, maybe we have a chance." The Valen leader hesitated. The Zorethians were a common enemy, but allying with humans was still a risk. After a brief silence, Kellerin responded, "Very well. We will join you, but trust must be earned in battle as much as in words." Both ships prepared for the impending confrontation. The Valens modified their organic vessels to interface with human weaponry, while the Vanguard's engineers worked tirelessly to integrate Valen bioengineering into their systems. Dr. Laura Mitchell collaborated closely with Nira and Solon, ensuring that communication between the two species remained smooth during the chaos of combat. As the Zorethian fleet appeared on the horizon, its ships loomed like dark, jagged mountains against the stars. Their vessels bristled with weapons, and their sheer size dwarfed both the Vanguard and the Valen craft. Fear rippled through the human crew, but Corporal Jason Ford reminded them of their mission. "We're not just fighting for ourselves," he said firmly. "We're fighting for them, and for whatever comes next." The battle began with a barrage of energy blasts from the Zorethians. The Vanguard and the Valen ships maneuvered skillfully, dodging most of the attacks while returning fire. The combined forces proved surprisingly effective. The humans' precision targeting complemented the Valens' ability to adapt mid-flight using their living ships. Despite their efforts, the odds were overwhelming. One of the Valen scouts was hit, its glowing hull dimming as it drifted out of formation. Nira watched in horror, her antennae flickering with grief. "We cannot hold them off forever," she said to Laura, her voice trembling. Laura gripped her arm reassuringly. "We don't have to win today. We just have to survive long enough to find a way." Moments later, Lieutenant Brooks made a critical discovery. "Sir, I've found a weakness in their lead ship. It has a vulnerable core at its center." Hayes wasted no time. "Target it. All weapons, full power." The Valens coordinated their attack, launching a concentrated assault on the Zorethian flagship. Arin, a young Valen pilot, volunteered for a daring mission. He flew his ship directly toward the enemy vessel, drawing its fire while the others closed in. His sacrifice allowed the humans and Valens to deliver a devastating blow, crippling the flagship and forcing the rest of the fleet to retreat. When the dust settled, the survivors assessed the damage. Both the Vanguard and the Valen fleet had suffered losses, but the victory was theirs. Exhausted but relieved, Captain Hayes addressed his crew. "Today, we fought side by side with beings from another world. Together, we stood against tyranny, and won." Kellerin echoed similar sentiments, his voice filled with gratitude. "Your courage saved us. Perhaps this alliance will lead to something greater." Though battered and weary, both species knew they had crossed a threshold. The battle had forged a bond stronger than either side had imagined possible, a bond that would shape their futures in ways neither could yet foresee. The day of Kellerin's visit to the SS Vanguard arrived, and a crew prepared with a mix of excitement and nervousness. Captain Lucas Hayes wanted everything to go smoothly, knowing that this meeting could either strengthen the fragile trust between the two species or shatter it completely. The bridge was cleaned and organized, the holographic displays were tested repeatedly, and extra security measures were put in place without being too obvious. When the Valen shuttle docked, Kellerin stepped out accompanied by Nira and Solon. Their glowing forms stood out sharply against the cold, metallic interior of the human ship. Hayes greeted them warmly, extending his hand in what he hoped was a universal gesture of friendship. Kellerin hesitated for a moment before touching his hand lightly, mimicking the action. "Welcome aboard the Vanguard *", Hayes said, his voice steady. "We're honored to have you here." Kellerin inclined his head slightly. "Thank you for inviting us. We are curious about your kind." With Nira and Laura leading the way, the group moved to a conference room where a presentation had been set up. Images of Earth, its people, and its achievements scrolled across the walls. Kelrin watched intently, his glowing eyes reflecting the soft light of the screens. When an image of a bustling city appeared, he turned to Hayes. "Your people live close together. Is there no conflict?" Hayes hesitated, unsure how much to reveal. "There is conflict sometimes, yes, but we also work hard to resolve our differences. Humanity has learned that cooperation often leads to better outcomes." Kelrin nodded slowly, though his expression remained unreadable. "Cooperation. That is something we value as well." As the presentation continued, Lieutenant Rachel Brooks showcased Earth's scientific advancements, focusing on medicine, energy production, and sustainable farming. The Valens seemed particularly interested in the fusion reactors powering the Vanguard *. Solon leaned closer to Nira, whispering, "Such power. Imagine what we could do with technology like that." Nira shot him a warning glance, reminding him to stay focused on the purpose of the visit. She then addressed Laura. "Your knowledge of energy is impressive. But tell me, what do you give back to your world in return?" Laura thought for a moment before answering. "We try to protect our planet. Our scientists are working to repair the damage we've caused over the years." Kelrin studied her carefully. "Damage. You harm your own home." Hayes stepped in, sensing the potential for misunderstanding. "Humans have made mistakes, but we're learning. Every species grows through trial and error." The Valens exchanged glances, their expressions thoughtful. Kelrin finally spoke. "Your honesty is appreciated. Perhaps we can share our knowledge as well." He signaled for Nira to activate a small device she carried. A hologram appeared, showing the Valens' bioengineered habitats, lush, self-sustaining ecosystems capable of thriving in even the harshest environments. The humans stared in awe, realizing the implications of such technology. "This is incredible," Laura murmured. "You've mastered life itself." Nira nodded. "We live in harmony with our creations. They sustain us, and we care for them." Commander Ethan Cole leaned forward, intrigued. Could this technology help planets struggling with resource shortages? "It might," Kelrin replied cautiously. "But such gifts must be earned through trust." As the meeting progressed, both sides grew more comfortable sharing information. However, Lieutenant Brooks accidentally accessed classified files while pulling up additional visuals. Her face flushed as she quickly closed the folder, but not before Kelrin noticed. His antennae flickered, a sign of unease. "What was that?" he asked, his tone sharper than before. Hayes stepped in immediately. "It was nothing important, just internal data. Please forgive the oversight." Kelrin studied him for a long moment, then nodded. "We will overlook it this time, but secrets can breed mistrust." The tension eased slightly as the conversation shifted to lighter topics. By the end of the visit, both sides agreed to continue exchanging knowledge. As Kelrin and his companions returned to their shuttle, Hayes felt a mixture of relief and determination. Progress had been made, but the path ahead would require careful navigation. Back on the Valen ship, Kelrin reflected on the encounter. "The humans are complex," he told his council. "They are capable of great things, but also great destruction. We must proceed wisely." Nira added, "Their curiosity mirrors our own. Perhaps that shared trait will guide us forward." Though challenges remained, the seeds of collaboration had taken root. Both species knew they had much to learn, and much to gain, from one another. The next day, both the humans and the Valens prepared for a more formal meeting. Captain Lucas Hayes had decided that a direct conversation with Kelrin, the Valen leader, was necessary to build trust. Since neither side could yet speak the other's language fluently, they agreed to use holographic communication to bridge the gap. The plan was risky, but it offered a chance to avoid further misunderstandings. On the SS Vanguard Dr. Laura Mitchell worked tirelessly to refine the universal translator she and Nira had started developing. With input from Lieutenant Rachel Brooks and the ship's engineers, they managed to create a basic system capable of translating simple phrases. It wasn't perfect, but it would have to do. Meanwhile, Corporal Jason Ford ensured the holographic projector was functioning properly, knowing that any technical failure could derail the fragile progress they'd made. At the agreed time, the holographic image of Kellerin appeared on the bridge of the Vanguard *. His tall, slender form shimmered faintly, his bioluminescent features glowing softly against the metallic backdrop of the human ship. Captain Hayes stepped forward, standing tall despite the weight of the moment. Behind him, Laura and Rachel stood ready to assist, while Jason remained close by, alert for any signs of trouble. "Greetings," Hayes began, his voice calm but steady. "I am Captain Lucas Hayes of the SS Vanguard *. We come in peace." Through the translator, Kellerin's response came moments later. "I am Kellerin of the Valens. Peace is our wish as well." Though the words were simple, the effort behind them was clear. Hayes nodded, encouraged by the positive tone. "We mean no harm. Our goal is exploration, not conflict." Kellerin tilted his head slightly, a gesture that seemed to convey curiosity. "Your arrival surprised us. We have never met another species before." Laura stepped forward, her tablet in hand. She displayed images of Earth, its cities, oceans, and people. "This is our home," she said slowly. "We are explorers, like you." Nera, who stood beside Kellerin in holographic form, added her own thoughts. "Your technology is advanced. It is impressive." Hayes smiled faintly. "So is yours. Your ships, they're alive, aren't they?" Kellerin hesitated before nodding. "Yes. We grow our vessels. They are part of us." The exchange continued, each side sharing bits of their culture and history. For the humans, it was a glimpse into a world far different from their own. The Valens spoke of their deep connection to nature and their reliance on harmony rather than domination. In turn, Hayes explained humanity's drive for innovation and discovery, though he carefully avoided mentioning Earth's conflicts or military history. Despite the progress, tensions lingered beneath the surface. Lieutenant Brooks noticed Kellerin's eyes flickering occasionally toward the weapons consoles on the Vanguard's bridge. She whispered to Hayes, "They're still unsure about us. Maybe we should show them something non-threatening, like our medical tech or farming methods." Hayes agreed and signaled for Rachel to display visuals of Earth's agricultural advancements. When the Valens saw images of lush fields and automated machinery, their expressions softened. Solon, who had joined the call, remarked, "You care for your planet. That is good." As the meeting drew to a close, both sides expressed a desire to continue learning from one another. Hayes extended an invitation for Kellerin to visit the Vanguard in person, emphasizing that it would be a gesture of goodwill. Kellerin paused, considering the offer before finally agreeing. "We will come," he said, "but trust must grow slowly." After the holograms faded, the bridge fell silent. Hayes turned to his crew, his expression thoughtful. "We've taken a big step today, but remember, this is just the beginning." Laura nodded, her mind racing with possibilities. "If we can keep this dialogue going, we might actually achieve something incredible." Jason crossed his arms, still cautious. "Let's just hope they feel the same way when they see more of us." Back on the Valen ship, Kellerin addressed his council. "The humans are unpredictable, but they seem sincere. For now, we proceed cautiously." Nera looked at the data collected during the meeting, her curiosity piqued. "They have much to teach us, and perhaps we have much to teach them as well." Though challenges lay ahead, the foundation for mutual understanding had been laid. Both sides knew the journey would be long and uncertain, but for the first time, they dared to imagine a future where cooperation outweighed fear. As the fragile truce between the humans and the Valens held, both sides knew they needed to take the next step. Misunderstandings had already pushed them close to conflict, and neither side could afford another mistake. On the SS Vanguard Captain Lucas Hayes called a meeting with his senior officers to discuss their options. "We can't keep guessing what they want," Hayes said firmly. pacing in front of the conference table. "We need to show them we're willing to talk face to face." Lieutenant Rachel Brooks nodded. "But sending a shuttle might be risky. What if they see it as a threat?" Commander Ethan Cole leaned forward, his steady voice cutting through the tension. "Risk is part of exploration, Lieutenant. If we don't take this chance, we'll never move forward. Besides, we've seen no signs that they're hostile, just cautious, like us." After some debate, Hayes made his decision. A small shuttle would be sent to approach the Valen ship. On board would be Dr. Laura Mitchell, the ship's linguist, and Corporal Jason Ford, chosen for his calm demeanor and experience in high-stakes situations. Their mission was simple: establish visual contact and begin laying the groundwork for communication. The shuttle detached from the Vanguard and drifted toward the glowing alien craft. Inside, Laura adjusted her headset, her hands trembling slightly despite her best efforts to stay composed. "This is it," she murmured. "First contact." Jason gave her a reassuring smile. "Just stay focused. We'll get through this." When the shuttle reached the Valen ship, it hovered for a moment before being guided into a docking bay. The walls of the bay shimmered with soft, pulsating light, unlike anything the humans had ever seen. As the hatch opened, Laura and Jason stepped out cautiously, their eyes scanning the unfamiliar surroundings. A group of Valens awaited them, their slender forms radiating a quiet grace. Nira stepped forward, her large, luminous eyes studying the humans with curiosity. Behind her, Solon stood ready but alert, his posture tense. For a long moment, neither side moved, each waiting for the other to make the first gesture. Laura took a deep breath and raised her hand slowly, palm open, a universal sign of peace. Mira tilted her head, then mirrored the gesture. It was a small act, but it carried immense weight. Both sides relaxed slightly, realizing they shared a common desire to avoid conflict. Using a tablet, Laura began displaying images and symbols, hoping to convey basic concepts like friendship and understanding. Nira watched intently, then pointed to herself and said something in her melodic language. Laura mimicked the sound as best she could, earning a flicker of approval from the Valen scientist. Jason observed the exchange silently, his hand resting near his weapon, but not reaching for it. He noticed how the Valens seemed hesitant yet eager to communicate, much like the humans. It was clear that fear and curiosity were driving both sides equally. After several hours of trial and error, progress began to emerge. Laura and Nira managed to establish a rudimentary form of communication using gestures and simple sounds. Though clumsy and slow, it marked the beginning of a bridge between two vastly different species. Back aboard the Vanguard Hayes monitored the situation closely. When reports came in that the meeting was going well, he allowed himself a small smile. "It's a start," he said quietly to Commander Cole. "A shaky one, but a start." On the Valen ship, Caldron watched the footage of the encounter, his expression thoughtful. "They are persistent," he admitted to Solon. "Perhaps more so than we expected." Solon nodded. "And adaptable. But trust will take time." As the day drew to a close, the humans returned to their shuttle, exhausted but hopeful. Before leaving, Laura turned to Nira and placed a hand over her heart, a gesture of gratitude. Nira responded by touching her own chest, her glowing eyes warm with understanding. Though challenges remained, the seeds of cooperation had been planted. Both sides knew the road ahead would be difficult, but for the first time, they dared to hope that mutual understanding was possible. The tension aboard the Vanguard was palpable as the crew prepared for what might be humanity's first contact with an alien species. Captain Lucas Hayes stood at the center of the bridge, his sharp eyes scanning the monitors while his mind raced through possibilities. Lieutenant Rachel Brooks adjusted the frequency on her console again, trying to send a simple mathematical pattern, a sequence of prime numbers, into the void. It was a universal language, or so they hoped. On the Valen scout ship, Nira and Solon watched the human vessel with equal parts fascination and caution. The signal they had detected earlier matched the patterns now being transmitted by the humans. "They are attempting communication," Nira said softly, her voice tinged with wonder. "But we must proceed carefully." Solon nodded, though his expression remained uneasy. What if this is a trick? What if their intentions are not peaceful? Kelleran's voice came over the comms, calm but firm. "We cannot assume hostility without evidence. Observe them further." Back on the Vanguard Rachel grew frustrated. "Sir, they're not responding. Either they don't understand us, or," she trailed off, unwilling to voice the darker possibility, "or they're ignoring us," Corporal Jason Ford muttered under his breath. He leaned against the railing, his hand resting near the holster of his sidearm. Though no immediate threat had presented itself, the silence from the unknown craft felt ominous. Suddenly, the lights on the bridge flickered, and alarms blared throughout the ship. The crew scrambled to stabilize the systems as the Vanguard shuddered violently. "Report," Hayes barked, gripping the edge of the command console. "It's some kind of energy pulse," Rachel replied, her fingers flying across her keyboard. "It's coming from that ship. Our engines are offline." Hayes clenched his jaw. "Are they attacking us?" Before anyone could answer, the shaking stopped as abruptly as it had begun. The crew exchanged nervous glances, unsure whether to feel relieved or terrified. On the main screen, the sleek silhouette of the alien craft hovered ominously in the distance. It hadn't moved closer, but its presence alone was enough to keep everyone on edge. Meanwhile, aboard the Valen ship, confusion reigned. "Why did you activate the defensive pulse?" Kelleran demanded, his usually calm demeanor fraying slightly. "We thought they were preparing weapons," Solon explained quickly. "Their signals became erratic, and their ship shifted position. We acted out of caution." Nira frowned. "This is why we should have waited. Now they may see us as hostile." Kelleran sighed deeply, his glowing antennae dimming slightly, a sign of stress among his kind. "We cannot undo what has been done, but we must avoid further escalation. If they attempt to communicate again, respond cautiously." As if on cue, another transmission came from the Vanguard This time, it wasn't just numbers. It was a series of geometric shapes, accompanied by soft tones. The Valens studied the message intently. "They are trying again," Nira said, her tone softening. "Perhaps they mean no harm after all." Solon hesitated before nodding. "We should show them we are willing to listen." Kelleran gave the order to send a reply, a pulsating light pattern meant to mimic the rhythm of their own language. To the humans aboard the Vanguard the response looked like a shimmering beacon in the darkness. Rachel stared at her monitor, her heart pounding. "They're communicating back." "Sir, I think they're trying to establish a dialogue." Hayes exhaled slowly, his shoulders relaxing just a fraction. "Good work, Lieutenant. Keep analyzing the pattern. Let's figure out what they're saying." For hours, the two ships exchanged signals, each side growing more confident that the other wasn't inherently hostile. However, mistrust lingered beneath the surface. The humans wondered why the aliens had disabled their engines, while the Valens questioned the true purpose of the humans' advanced technology. Both sides knew that one wrong move could reignite the tension, and possibly lead to disaster. Despite the unease, a fragile truce began to form. For the first time in their respective histories, humanity and the Valens found themselves standing on the brink of understanding. Yet neither side realized how much this encounter would change their futures, or how many challenges still lay ahead. In the endless darkness of space, far beyond the reach of Earth's telescopes, a faint signal pulsed through the void. It was unlike anything the Valens had ever encountered. For centuries, their species had drifted among the stars, content in their solitude. They were explorers by nature, peaceful beings who valued harmony over conquest. But this signal was different. It carried a rhythm, a pattern that seemed deliberate, almost alive. The Valen leader, Kelleran, gathered his council in the heart of their glowing organic ship. Around him, the walls shimmered with soft bioluminescent light, casting an ethereal glow on their slender forms. "This signal is not natural," said Nera, one of the lead scientists. Her voice was calm but tinged with curiosity. "It repeats itself, like a call or a message." Solon, her colleague, nodded in agreement. "If it is artificial, then we are not alone in this galaxy. We must investigate." Kelleran hesitated. The thought of encountering another intelligent species filled him with both wonder and unease. What if they were hostile? What if their intentions were unclear? Still, the opportunity to learn outweighed the risks. He gave the order for 2 scout ships to follow the signal source. Mira and Solon volunteered to lead the mission, eager to uncover its secrets. Meanwhile, light years away, aboard the human warship *SS Vanguard*, Captain Lucas Hayes stood on the bridge, staring at the same anomaly on his ship's monitors. His crew buzzed with activity as they analyzed the strange energy readings. Lieutenant Rachel Brooks, the ship's communications officer, frowned at her console. "Sir, these readings don't match anything in our database. It's like something is out there, watching us." Hayes crossed his arms, his sharp eyes narrowing. "Watching us, or trying to communicate?" "It's hard to say," Rachel replied. "But whatever it is, it's moving closer." The captain ordered the ship to adjust course, steering toward the mysterious signal. He knew the risks. Venturing into uncharted territory could mean danger, but he also understood the importance of discovery. Humanity had always been driven by the need to explore, to push boundaries, and seek answers. This could be their chance to find something truly extraordinary. As the *Vanguard* approached the signal's origin, tension mounted among the crew. They were deep in unexplored space now, far from any known star systems. The ship's sensors picked up faint traces of movement nearby, but nothing solid appeared on the screens. Then suddenly, a shadow passed over the ship, a massive, sleek shape gliding silently through the darkness. "What in the world is that?" muttered Corporal Jason Ford, gripping the railing on the bridge. His voice betrayed a mix of awe and fear. Before anyone could respond, the object vanished as quickly as it had appeared. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Whatever it was, it wasn't human, and it knew they were there. Back on the Valen scout ship, Nera and Solon observed the strange vessel from a safe distance. Its metallic surface gleamed under the light of a distant star, starkly contrasting with the organic curves of their own craft. "They are here," Solon whispered, his tone filled with both excitement and apprehension. "This is humanity." Nera leaned closer to the viewing screen, studying the alien ship intently. "Do you think they know we're watching them?" "They will soon enough," Kelleran's voice crackled over the comms. "Prepare to make contact, but tread carefully. We do not know their intentions." As the 2 species unknowingly drew nearer to each other, the stage was set for an encounter that would change everything, for better or worse. Neither side could have predicted how this moment would ripple through the fabric of their existence, binding them together in ways they could never have imagined.